right, good morning, brothers and sisters. How y'all doing? I hope all is well. Coming to you from Florida, where thankfully, where I'm at in Florida, the hurricane kind of just, skipped past us. Got some rain and some wind, but nonetheless, we are safe, and I thank Yahuah for that. And I pray for any of my brothers and sisters who may be impacted in a much more severe way by the hurricane. I pray that Yahuah keeps them safe and watches over them. So I want to talk about the importance of having the Ruach HaQodesh, because truthfully, without it, there's really no connection to the Father Yahuah. You need the baptism of the Ruach HaQodesh. You really need it. The Ruach HaQodesh is the Ruach Emet, which means the Ruach of truth. And the Ruach HaQodesh is like our personal guide. He leads us and guides us. He is the breath, the wind of Yahuah given to us. Yahuah himself living in us, tabernacling with us, walking among us. And without the Ruach HaQodesh, you cannot walk one with the Father. You cannot. And so I want to read just real quick, and this video is not going to be long, but in the book of Yahuah, chapter 16, starting at verse 13, it says this. It says, howbeit, this is Yahusha talking. He says, howbeit, when he, the Ruach Emet, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. So understand the power of having the Ruach HaQodesh in you. First of all, I said he will guide you into all truth. Listen, I know for one, I talk about myself. When I first came to the knowledge of Yahuah, in the beginning, man, I was so gullible. Like personally, anyone that used the name Yahuah and Yahusha, I'm like, oh, they got to be right. You know what I'm saying? And so I would, listen to their videos or, read in blogs, because I'm like, you know what? Anyone that uses this name, they have to be right. They have to be in truth. Oh, how wrong I was. And this is why, I quickly asked for the baptism of the Ruach HaQodesh. See, and let me just say this too. There is a difference between the Ruach HaQodesh and the Holy Spirit. See, I no longer even use the term Holy Spirit. It's now the Ruach HaQodesh. There's a big difference. Just do your research on that, but there is a big difference between the two. Okay, the Holy Spirit is, for lack of a better words, is not the correct term to say when addressing the Ruach of Yahuah. It's the Ruach HaQodesh. It's the Kodesh, meaning set apart. There's none like it, given by Yahuah to those that desire the gift. Okay, so that's not the transliteration Holy Spirit that many people like to use today. It's not. They're two completely different things. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, I was so gullible, and I remember one incident that happened to me. I was listening to a gentleman on Facebook, and it seemed like he was talking some good stuff, testifying of Yahuah, and ministering to people, telling them that they need Yahusha, HaMashiach, the true Messiah, and he was speaking some good stuff. Well, and I was playing the video, like I didn't have no headphones in, so I was playing it in my living room, and it was practically echoing throughout the house. Well, that night, a strange incident happened. I fell asleep on the couch, and this happened in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, there's this white figure comes walking across the living room and starts walking upstairs. And And I woke up, walked upstairs, and checked on my wife and kids, make sure they were all right. And I immediately rebuked that thing, what it was. And the Ruach actually informed me that that was a familiar spirit that had access in my home from the person that I was listening to. And literally told me that person I was listening to is not right. He actually operates in sorcery. Told me that that person operates through a familiar spirit. And right here, when he said he will guide you into all truth, that's why you need the Ruach HaQodesh. Because he will let you know who is real and who is not real. And just because, there's people who come across this knowledge, but that doesn't mean that they're right. See, knowledge is good. I don't frown upon that. But knowledge without the Ruach HaQodesh operating through a person can be very dangerous. And Yahushua did say there are many false prophets. Actually, I'm going to go to it. In the book of Yahuah, many would say the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 1 says, Beloved, believe not every Ruach, but try the Ruach, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets are going out into the world. Right there. So again, this is the number one, to me personally, that's the number one reason you need the Ruach HaKodesh. He guides you to all truth. And you got to try everything and everybody. Anytime somebody presents something to you or say, hey man, read this or listen to this, listen, the Ruach HaKodesh will let you know, don't listen to that. Don't open that. Don't click on that. Because what's behind it could be demonic. So let's see here. And then it says, he would not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear. So there's that connection right there. See, the Ruach HaKodesh will present to you the word of Yahuah. He will present to you what Yahuah and Yahushua are speaking about. See, they all work in one. They all work in one accord. And without the Ruach HaKodesh, you cannot walk in agreement with Yahuah. You cannot walk one with him. That's why Yahuah says, I will tabernacle with them. They shall be my people. He will write his name upon us. When he says he will tabernacle with us, that means he will dwell among us. He will walk with us. And he walk with us through the Ruach HaKodesh. And if you don't have that, if you're not baptized with the Ruach HaKodesh, there is no connection. It's not. And then it says he will show you things to come. So you will get insight. That's why you need the Ruach HaKodesh. You won't be blindsided by anything. Anytime something that's about to happen, you will be notified by the Ruach HaKodesh. And then verse 14 says, he shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine and shall show it unto you. So now you have access to the things of Yahushua. You have access to the things of Yahuah. Because look at 15 says, all things that the Father has are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine and shall show it unto you. How beautiful is that? So everything that the Father Yahuah has, he put it in the hands of Yahushua. And everything that Yahushua has through the Ruach HaKodesh, he will give it and present it to us. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need the Ruach HaKodesh. That's why you need the baptism of it. All those things right there. And then when you read in the book of Mayasim, chapter 2, many refer to as the book of Acts, you will see the power that dwelt upon them. So the Ruach HaKodesh gives us power. he gives us a sound mind. It's Yahuah himself living on the inside of us. Now don't get it mistaken. The Ruach of Yahuah has been there since the beginning. You'll read, with the prophets, with a lot of the kings, it said the Ruach of Yahuah came upon them. So he was there, still leading them and guiding them, still showing them things, still being with them, still speaking through them. So the Ruach has been there from beginning to end. The Ruach is there. He's always there. You know what I'm saying? But now we have such a beautiful thing, because now the Ruach lives in the inside of us. He empowers us. I realized that he's so sensitive too. I'm not sure if you experienced, but I'll speak for myself. Have you ever, you might have been listening to something and all of a sudden it seems like you start getting kind of nauseous. You feel like you're getting sick. That's the Ruach HaQodesh notifying that, hey, you need to turn that off. It's not right. You need to start reading that. Something about it. And trust me, I've had to stop listening to quite a few people who I thought, were right, because, they were using the names. It seemed like they had the proper knowledge, but they weren't right. That's why Yahuah says, test everything. So you can see the Ruach HaQodesh is it's legit, it's real. Or shall I say, he's legit, he's real. Let me clarify that, because the Ruach HaQodesh is a he, not an it. As I just read in Yahuah 9:14, he, the Ruach HaMeth, the Ruach of truth, which comes from Yahuah, set apart. Which another thing, when the Ruach HaQodesh dwelling in us, we are set apart. These vessels are the temple now that Yahuah lives in. See, before, there were physical temples where the Ruach of Yahuah would dwell in, but those were destroyed. And now the temples that are not made by man's hands are bodies, where Yahuah wants to dwell so he can be one with us. What a beautiful thing, So if you don't have the Ruach HaQodesh, if you haven't been baptized with the Ruach HaQodesh, I suggest that you get that. I highly, highly recommend that you do that, because you need it, especially in these last days. Because if you're not guided, if you don't have insight, if you don't have knowledge, if you don't have truth, you'll be left out. You need the Ruach HaQodesh. You need it. You need him. He, like I said, will guide you into all truth. He cannot lie, because he doesn't speak of his own accord. Okay? Whatever he hears, he gonna tell you. He will not leave you hanging. But you need that to have that divine connection with the Father. You need it. Because without it, you're just walking. But with him, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, the game changes when you have the Ruach HaQodesh. Trust me when I tell you. And a lot of people, believe it or not, are not baptized with the Ruach HaQodesh. Like I said, yeah, they got knowledge. Yeah, they may have a little something. But without the Ruach HaQodesh, you basically are nothing. That's all I got. Y'all be blessed. Have a good one.